All right, so today let's dive into something that's pretty mind-blowing.
Okay.
You know how we all rely on software for like
Yeah.
practically everything these days?
hmm
Imagine if like every company had to uh, build even just the most basic tools from scratch.
Oh, wow.
Like, can you imagine
Yeah.
calendars, word processors, like
Oh, gosh.
you name it,
Yeah.
the chaos,
Uh,
the wasted time.
yeah, it's a thought that quickly spirals, right?
Yeah.
We kind of just assume that
Yeah.
those building blocks are just there and ready to go.
Right.
But what's fascinating is that
Yeah.
a lot of these like essential tools are built on something called open source software or OSS.
Right.
And this research paper we're looking at today from Harvard Business School, no less,
Okay.
attempts to like put a price tag on this often overlooked foundation of the digital world.
Yeah, and it uses some pretty unique data to do it.
Yeah.
They've pulled from the census to a fee of free and open source software and the built with website technology database.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we get to like the trillions of dollars they're talking about,
Yeah.
let's make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
What exactly is open source software?
Right.
It's more than just free stuff online, right?
Right. The free part is definitely there.
Yeah.
But the real magic is in the open collaboration.
Okay.
Think of it like
Okay.
sharing your grandma's secret cookie recipe,
Okay.
but instead of cookies, it's code.
All right.
Anyone can see it, use it, tweak it,
Cool.
even share their modified version.
Oh, wow.
It's about community-driven innovation on a global scale.
So it's like a massive digital potluck where
Yeah.
everyone brings their best dish
Exactly.
and everyone gets to feast.
Exactly. And that feast fuels
Oh, wow.
so much of what we do online, from the
Yeah.
websites we browse to the apps we use.
Mm-hmm.
This research dives into the supply side, meaning
Oh,
the
yeah.
cost of building the software,
Right.
and the demand side, the value it brings to users.
Okay.
And on the supply side, they found something quite surprising.
Hey, lay it on me.
Get this. If we all decided to recreate all the widely used OSS from scratch,
Oh,
picture a global coding from scratch project,
okay.
it would cost at most around $6.22 billion.
6 billion. That sounds like a lot, but
Yeah.
for all the software that's out
You're-
there,
Hold on, there's a catch.
okay.
That's assuming we're paying like
Oh.
U.S. programmer salaries.
Oh, okay.
If we use programmers from India, it drops to just over $1 billion.
Wow, that is way less than I expected.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a huge amount,
It is.
but considering the sheer volume of open source code
Right.
powering everything these days.
That's what makes it so interesting.
Uh,
Past studies valued all OSS at about $78 billion.
wow.
This research seems to suggest that zeroing in on the OSS that's actually being used paints a very different picture.
Which kind of begs the question,
Yeah.
if it's relatively cheap to recreate, why doesn't everyone just do it themselves?
And that's where the demand side analysis really flips the script.
Okay.
This is where we get into those trillions.
Okay, I'm officially intrigued. Hit me with the demand side shocker.
The researchers estimated that if every company had to independently recreate the OSS they use,
Oh, wow.
it would cost somewhere between $2.59 and $13.18 trillion.
Trillion with a T.
Yeah.
That's not a typo.
Nope.
That's like, what, 3.5 times more than companies spend on software globally right now?
It is. And what that tells us is that the
Yeah.
existence of OSS is like this giant
Yeah.
silent productivity booster for
Yeah.
the entire economy.
Right.
Companies can focus on innovating and building new things
Yeah.
instead of constantly reinventing the wheel.
Right.
It's a massive cost saving that, frankly, doesn't get nearly enough attention.
Okay, so we've got trillions in hidden value. What else did this research uncover?
Well, it also highlights something pretty interesting about who's creating all this valuable code.
Okay.
And it turns out it's a surprisingly small group.
Wait, really?
Yeah, the paper found that 96% of that demand-side value,
Wow.
those trillions we're talking about,
Yeah.
comes from just 5% of the programmers in their data set.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense that some code would be
Right.
more widely used than others, but
Yeah.
96% coming from 5% of the creators?
Right.
That really makes you think about the potential vulnerability
Yeah,
of a system that relies so heavily
absolutely.
on a small group of individuals.
It underscores the importance of recognizing
Yeah.
and supporting these key contributors.
Right.
They're the unsung heroes of the digital age,
Total.
quietly powering so much of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
It raises all sorts of questions about how to make sure
Right.
that talent pool stays engaged
Yeah.
and that the OSS ecosystem
Yes.
remains sustainable in the long run.
It also makes me wonder if certain types of code Or even specific programming languages are more valuable than others.
Yeah,
Did the research touch on that at all?
it did. And that's where things get even more granular.
Okay.
The paper dives into the differences in value across various programming languages.
Okay.
And it turns out there are some clear winners depending on how you measure it.
Okay. I'm ready for the programming language showdown. Who comes out on top?
Well, in terms of both supply side and demand side value,
Look.
meaning it's both relatively cheap to create
Mm-hmm.
and highly valuable to users,
Right.
the language Go shines,
Okay.
especially in the business-focused data from the Census Project.
Go. I have to admit, I don't know much about it.
Go has been gaining popularity for a while now. It's
Uh-huh.
known for its efficiency,
Okay.
scalability, and reliability,
Yeah.
which are all super important for companies building complex systems.
Right.
And these findings definitely reflect that trend.
So if I'm a company looking for the most bang for my buck, in terms of OSS, Go is the way to go.
It's certainly a language worth keeping an eye on,
Okay.
particularly in the business world.
Okay.
Now, when we look at outward-facing web development,
Yeah.
the stuff you see when browsing websites,
Mm-hmm.
JavaScript reigns supreme,
Yeah.
according to the built with data.
Ah, JavaScript.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's practically the language of the web. correct?
Exactly. It's what makes websites interactive and dynamic.
Right.
But what's interesting is that while it's widely used,
Yeah.
the supply-side cost to recreate those JavaScript libraries is relatively low compared to something like Go.
So it's a bit of a paradox.
Yeah.
JavaScript is everywhere,
Right.
but it's not necessarily the most costly to recreate.
It speaks to the diversity of the OSS landscape.
Yeah.
Different languages have different strengths, and they're
Okay.
more valuable in different contexts. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation.
Okay, so we've talked about programming languages,
Right.
but what about specific industries? Are there certain sectors where
Yeah.
OSS is making a particularly huge impact?
Absolutely. And the built with data gives us some really interesting insights there.
Okay.
One industry that really jumps out
Yeah.
is professional, scientific, and technical services.
Mhm.
They're getting a ton of value from OSS
Oh, wow.
with an estimated demand-side value of about $43 billion.
43 billion.
Yeah.
Wow, that's more than any other industry in the data set.
It really highlights how deeply embedded OSS is in different sectors,
Yeah.
even those that may not seem directly related to software development.
Which makes you think, how much does your industry rely on open source,
Right.
even if you're not aware of it?
Yeah.
It's something to ponder for sure.
It really is. OSS is kind of like the electrical wiring of the digital world.
Yeah.
You don't always see it, but it's
Nothing.
powering everything around us.
And that brings us to the thought-provoking question.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave you with for now.
Okay. What if all this incredible, valuable software just disappeared? How would that change your daily life, your work, your ability to connect with the world? It's almost unthinkable, right?
It really is. This deep dive has definitely made me realize just how much we take OSS for granted. But okay, let's bring it back to the bigger picture for a second. We've been talking about trillions of dollars in value, but this research also highlights that open source is more than just a tech phenomenon. It's a social and economic force, right?
Absolutely. It's a global commons, something that benefits everyone. But like any shared resource, it requires active participation and support to stay healthy. And that brings up a concept you might have heard of, the tragedy of the commons.
Okay, breathe that down for me.
Imagine a shared pasture where everyone can graze their sheep. If everyone acts in their own self-interest, taking as much as they can without giving back them, the pasture eventually gets overgrazed and becomes unusable. The same principle applies to open source.
So if companies just keep taking from the OSS, well, without contributing back, we could see the whole system start to dry up.
Exactly. It's like expecting a garden to thrive without ever watering or weeding it. We need to move beyond just being consumers of OSS and start actively participating in its upkeep.
Okay, I'm convinced. But how do we actually support the OSS community? It's not like everyone can just start coding, right?
Not at all. There are tons of ways to contribute, both big and small. For individuals, even small actions can make a difference. You could contribute to documentation report bugs you find, or even just spread the word about the importance of open source to your friends and colleagues.
So even if I'm not a programmer, I can still be a valuable part of the OSS ecosystem.
Absolutely. It's all about finding ways to give back to the projects you use and love. Think about it this way. You probably wouldn't hesitate to tell a friend about a great new restaurant you discovered, right? Sharing your enthusiasm for open source projects can have a similar ripple effect.
That's a great analogy.
Hmm.
Okay, what about companies? What are some ways they can step up and support open source?
Companies can make a big impact by sponsoring projects, dedicating developer time to contribute code, or even open sourcing some of their own internal tools. It's not just about altruism either. Supporting open source is a smart business decision.
How so?
Well, it fosters innovation, reduces costs, and helps build a more robust and resilient digital infrastructure for everyone. It's about recognizing that a healthy OSS ecosystem benefits the entire tech industry and ultimately all of us.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So it's not just about writing code. It's about being an active participant in this global community that's building a better digital future.
You got it. And remember, even small contributions can have a big impact. Every bug report filed, every line of documentation improved, and every conversation about open source helps to sustain this incredible ecosystem.
This deep dive has been an eye-opening journey into the often invisible world of open source software. We've learned that it's far more valuable than we might realize. It's powering innovation across industries, and its future depends on our collective efforts to support the community. And speaking of exploring further, if you're interested in digging even deeper, we've linked the full research paper in the show notes.
It's definitely worth a read if you want to dive into the nuances of OSS and its impact on the global economy.
Now, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought. So
Yeah.
we talk about like the huge impact of open source,
Yeah.
but it's easy to feel like it's this giant machine
Right.
that we have like no control over.
Yeah.
So how can we as individuals actually contribute to making the OSS ecosystem stronger and more sustainable?
That's the question, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to feel like you need to be like a coding whiz to make a difference, but that's not the case at all.
Yeah, I'll admit I've definitely felt that way in the past. Like,
Right.
I appreciate open source, but I'm not like a developer, so what can I really do?
I think a lot of people feel that way,
Right.
but there are so many ways to get involved,
Of
even
course.
if you've never written a line of code in your life.
Cool.
It all starts with finding open source projects that
Okay.
align with your interests.
Okay.
There are platforms like GitHub, GitLab, and SourceForge
Mm-hmm.
that are treasure troves of amazing projects just waiting for people to discover them.
So if I'm passionate about, say, digital art or music production,
Yeah,
I could find open source tools related to those fields.
exactly. There are open source tools for practically everything these days.
Oh, wow.
And once you've found a project you're interested in,
Yeah.
you can start contributing in all sorts of ways.
Okay.
One of the simplest is just like using the software
Okay.
and providing feedback to the developers.
Okay.
Tell them what could be improved, what features you'd love to see.
So just being an active user
Yeah,
and getting like thoughtful feedback is a form of contribution.
absolutely. It helps developers understand how people are actually using their software
Right.
and what they can do to make it better.
Yeah.
And if you encounter any bugs or glitches while you're using the software,
Right.
reporting those is incredibly helpful.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess it's easy to forget that
Yeah,
these projects are often created by volunteers
right.
who are giving their time and expertise for free.
Exactly.
Right.
And any information you can provide
Yeah.
to help them improve their work is a valuable contribution.
Right.
Another thing you can do, even if you're not a technical person,
Okay.
is help with documentation.
Documentation.
Yeah.
The unsung hero of the software world.
It really is. Clear, concise documentation is essential for any open source project.
Okay.
It helps new users understand how to use the software and
Right.
encourages more people to contribute.
Yeah.
If you have a knack for writing or ending offer to help improve the project's documentation,
Right.
you might be surprised at how much of a difference you can make.
So it's not just about fixing bugs or writing
Yeah,
code.
right.
It's also about making the software more accessible
Yeah.
and user-friendly for everyone.
Exactly. And even if writing isn't your thing, you can still spread the word about the importance of open source.
Okay.
Talk to your friends, family, and colleagues about the amazing projects you've discovered.
Right.
Share articles and resources on social media.
Yeah.
The more people who understand the value of open source, the more likely they are to support it.
It's like a ripple effect.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Each person who gets involved
Yeah.
inspires others to do the same.
And who knows, maybe your enthusiasm will even inspire someone to become a programmer and contribute code to their favorite projects.
That would be amazing. So the key takeaway here is that
Yeah.
contributing to open source isn't just about writing code.
Right.
It's about being an active participant in a global community that's building a better digital future for everyone.
Well said. And remember, even small contributions can make a big difference. Every bug report, every documentation update, every conversation you have about open source, it all adds up.
This deep dive has truly been an eye-opening journey into the hidden trillions powering our digital world. We've learned that it's far more valuable than we might realize. It's powering innovation across countless industries, and its future depends on our collective efforts to support the community. Thanks for joining us on this exploration of open source software.